to take it. All right, cool. Recording in progress. I'm not going to repeat everything I just said because I don't know what I said. So here we go. Okay, so far, give me a thumbs up. Is everybody tracking with me? Listen, if you don't hear anything else I say, just listen to this one thing, because I was thinking about it today. I'm like, how do you, where do most people stick? You guys, you take inaction because typically you're confused. You are paralyzed because you think, I gotta go pro, I gotta go MVP. Yeah, you gotta do those things. There's no doubt about it. Like, I gotta have the right conversation with somebody. I've got to do this perfectly. I've got to know everything about ketones. The bottom line is you don't need any of that. Like right now, you just have to understand the game of influence. Either you have influence over someone or they have influence over you. It's bottom line. And the tanks that you're going to typically focus on are physical, mental and emotional, and financial. And here's the thing. If you're broke, go find a bunch of other broke people that want to make money too. If you're not mentally strong and you're not mentally confident and you don't have good posture, go find a bunch of other people that want to better themselves in life and go do it with them. Have them do it with you. You're the one that's driving this thing. Physically, like I said, we just happen to have a product that comes across as dude, this is it's a no-brainer. And here's what's going to happen in the process. You're going to get better. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. And you're going to have influence over other people. So I think I drove the point home. So I was talking about in the economic economy, right? All three of those tanks, they line up with what I'm trying to tell you. My point is that, let me give you a personal example. I'll give you a personal example. 6 months ago, I had an investment that was worth $5 million. This is a real story. This is me. 6 months ago, I had an investment that's worth $5 million. Today, that investment is worth $1 million. So my mindset has changed pretty drastically in the last 6 months when it comes to that. 6 months ago, I'm like, I don't really need to do anything. 6 months ago, I'm like, I'm not really in a sense of urgency. 6 months ago, I'm like, man, I'm thinking about how I could spend $6 million extra dollars. Like, it's just extra, just think. And now that it's gone down to one, I'm like, holy shit, I need to do something. Man, you know what? I need to have a backup plan. I need to put myself in action. The point is this, things change. Guys, somebody that you asked a question to 3 months ago that was gainfully employed and happy and whatever, very simply, just 90 days later, they say typically that somebody's financial position today, this was a statistic from 10 years ago. They say someone's financial position will typically change and alter roughly about every 90 days on average. Today, because of our economy, because of all the things that are happening, it's less than a month. Do you know how many stories of people that were employed or, had great lives, had money in the bank, had all these things happen, and just overnight, it was gone. Overnight, it was gone. Things change. Here's my point, is that when you ask that person 6 months ago or 3 months ago about ketones and they said no or maybe or whatever, and now you find out that they lost their job or things aren't going as well or whatever, there's a different opportunity there, right? And like I said, if you are yourself not in a place where you can mentor them and coach them, you just say, hey, join me on the journey. I've got people that are willing to mentor and coach me. They'll be willing to mentor and coach you too. So it's super easy and simple to invite people, but I will typically tell you in this industry, when the economy's good, you get a lot more customers. When the economy's down, you add a lot more promoters. And here's what's beautiful. Right now, when the things are down and people are looking to make extra money and people want more financially, you add them now, because guess what's going to happen eventually? The economy is going to go up again. And when the economy goes up again and you have a huge, massive team of motivated promoters, what do you think happens? Your volume goes way up. because everybody starts adding more customers. So this happens in cycles. Just know you need to learn how to have the right conversation. Listen to what people are looking for. If somebody's saying, I can't afford ketones, check this out. How many people have you tried to, they bought an experience pack or you gave them a sample, they loved it, but the answer back to you was, I can't afford it? How many people have told you that, has anyone ever told you they can't afford ketones? And what did you do? Oh, that sucks, and you move on. Or, man, are you sure? And you move on. Let me give you two things that you could do. Two things when someone says, I can't afford ketones. Number one, this is important. When the economy is starting to go like it does, you'll notice even people on your team aren't ordering as many ketones as they were, or people may start taking their ketones every other month or whatever. So number one is this for your customers or your promoters. Ketones, if you're treating ketones as an extra thing, then the end consumer is going to look at them as an extra thing. When you treat ketones as water, when you treat ketones as oxygen, then it's an absolute necessity. Like, check this out. I will use ketones before I pay Netflix. I will buy ketones before I go out to dinner on Friday night. I will buy ketones before I, go on that extra trip or whatever, right? Like, because why? Because this is the fuel that fuels my life. This is what fuels my life. And if you're a business owner, then listen, if things are down, like if I can't afford samples, if I can't afford 10-day experiences, if I can't afford to if I can't afford to go to an event, then guess what? I'm not going to go on that vacation. I'm not going to do that thing because I need to feed my business. Guys, listen, I'm not trying to be harsh right now, but if you guys right now took your life savings, let's say you had $250,000 in your life savings and you started a corner store, a sub shop, a Subway, a sandwich shop. If you weren't getting customers, if something wasn't happening, if people weren't coming in the door, if an employee didn't show up, right? What would you do? You would go. You would show up. You would go try to get customers. You would make it happen. Here's the thing. You have to treat this opportunity the exact same way. This opportunity requires investment of time and money, right? It requires that. But back to my point, listen to this, super simple. Help people understand that this is a necessity, and all they need to do is redirect spending, things they're already spending money on, into this. You learn how to help them make this the priority. That's number one. Number one way to help people, and number one, when there's a down economy and people aren't spending as much as they typically would, the redirection of income, already existing income, is how you help people to stay strong on continuing to use product, continuing to use this as a necessity, as a need, and not a want. Does that make sense? Number two is, hey, Bryon, I still can't afford it. That is awesome that you can't afford that. You know what's so funny? Is that when I actually started taking ketones, I couldn't afford them either. And I did and I figured, you know what? I know they're insanely beneficial. I freaking need money. And I found out there was an opportunity for me to do both. How many people have said, I can't afford them, and you never had that conversation? Yeah, a lot. Absolutely a lot. So, super simple, right? Do we have that? Learn how to have the right conversation at the right time. Sorry, I know we're running out of time. Okay. Next is this. I take a franchise perspective, right? Everybody's familiar with sports franchises, right? I know in Canada it's hockey, right? Everybody who loves hockey. I like football. You may like baseball. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is it's a massive, massive business. You understand that each individual team, some of you guys, you may not even think like this, but I think about, dude, each team is its own business. You understand that, right? Each team is a massively valuable asset. I think I don't know what the statistic is, but like, I mean, it was just like 20 years ago that organizations were being bought for like $100 million. Now they're being bought for $1 billion, multiple billions of dollars. It's crazy, right? It's crazy to think about it. But I want you to think about this. The makeup of Prove It and how this business operates is almost the exact same. I look at it through the exact same lens. And now let me give you a little example, right? So when it comes to franchises, here's the 4 levels of a franchise. Number 1 is we have fans. Number 2 is we have players. Number 3 is we have coaches. And number 4, we have owners, right? Now, if you could be, who in here would love to own a franchise? Yes, absolutely. All day long, right? Here's the thing. You understand that in this business, when you signed up with Prove It, you have the ability to own your own franchise. You now make a decision on how valuable you want that franchise to be. But here's what's crazy. You actually have to participate in all 4 levels. Here's what I promise you this. The owner of a franchise is the absolute number 1 biggest fan. You understand that? They're the number 1 biggest fan. They support their business first, 100% of the time, every time. The owner supports their business first. So you are your biggest fan, right? Number 2, right? Player, right? Player. Whether they had the skill to become a player, it doesn't matter. They probably wanted to, obviously. But here's the thing. We all know this. Listen, I knew that one day I was going to be a professional athlete. I knew it. I knew one day I was going to be a professional athlete. You know what? I just lacked 2 things, skill and ability. Okay. Other than those 2 things, I was a professional athlete. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't all have that same God-gifted skill and ability and genetic makeup. You understand that, right? It's okay. It's okay. What I love about this business is it is a level playing field, baby. Everybody is the exact same. Here's what I know. God created us all equal with the ability and gave us the ability to become unequal. Do you understand that? We were all created equal, but with the ability to become unequal in those tanks, our physical, our mental, emotional, our financial. You have the ability to create what you want to create. So we have players, right? We have coaches, which you're going to have to learn how to become. And we have owners. So I want you to think about this. Fans. We have fair weather fans. In sports, we have fair weather fans. Unless their team's in the playoffs, that's the only time they're wearing the jersey, right? Unless their team made it to the playoffs, that's the only time they're in the jersey, right? We have our raving fans. Raving fans, those are the ones that, listen, you are the absolute worst team in the league. You've been the worst team for a very long time. It's just, you suck. You're still rocking the jersey. You still love the team. You are an absolute raving fan, right? That's what you want to learn to develop in your franchise. You want to learn how to make fair weather fans into raving fans. How do you do that? You help them have success. You help them become rewarded. You help them become better with what the franchise has the ability to offer, right? Players, right? There's 3 different types of players. There's the players that are on the bench. There's the players that play, and then there's all-stars. You have to determine which one that you want to be. Do you want to sit on the bench and play every once in a while? Do you want to just be an average player in the game? Or do you want to be an all-star? Like, do you absolutely want to crush it? Because here's what I'll tell you. Any of you that have ever played sports, the same effort and energy and mentality that you use to be successful or to pursue your passion in sports is the same type of mentality that you're going to need here. You're going to need to learn how to play all out, right? You're going to want to try to be an all-star. Be an all-star, okay? And then we have our coaches, right? You're going to start off as an assistant coach. It's okay, right? That's how you're going to start your coaching journey. You should typically start your current coaching journey with someone else that's a successful coach, someone that has the ability to give you some insight, right? Someone that has been there, done that, and understands the game. Okay. I don't have time to get into this big time, but then you have owners, right? An owner is somebody that's put the franchise together. They got a bunch of loyal fans. You got players, you got all-stars that make up your team. You've got great coaches. And when you become an owner, here's what's awesome. You can sit back and you can just watch the game. Here's what I will tell you. And I don't have time to talk about structure and strategy, but there's a massive structure and strategy with how you build this business. It's something that maybe we'll talk about next time because I don't have time this time. Because nothing happens in this business by chance. Do you understand that there's a blueprint for you to achieve everything you want to achieve and prove it from the very beginning? There's a blueprint. It's not like you get started and then just do a bunch of stuff and you see what happens. That's what people with no goals do. When you get started, even though it may just be physically, changing yourself and pursuing better physically so that you can influence other people, when you start to influence those other people, when you influence them, they're little puzzle pieces that you're influencing, and you take those pieces and you put them right here and right here, and you put enough of them together and they make up GoPro. And then if you put a little bit more together, they make up MVP. And when you put a little bit more together, they make up All-Star. And when you add some more to that, they make up Rank 6 Circle of Champions. And then when you add some more puzzle pieces to that, with coaching and influence and building your franchise, you become a rank 7. You become a rank 8. You become a rank 9. You become a rank 10. And then you become a legend. And here's the thing. There's even a blueprint to legend. Exactly. You have to have a rank 10 with enough outside volume to qualify you as a legend. It's not, this is what I'm going to talk to my leaders about, or this is what I'm going to talk to leaders about on Sunday night, tomorrow night. Nothing in here happens by chance. Nothing in here happens just by going and doing a bunch of hard work. I'm not saying hard work's a bad thing, but you better learn how to follow the structure and strategy that is in direct proportion to your outcome. And here's the other thing that's okay. Mick saying, legend, legend, legend. Listen, your goal doesn't have to be legend. And, honestly, most of you are going to achieve a lot of your goals and you don't even have to be close to legend. You have to figure out what you want to achieve. And that's the goal that you need to chase. But my point is that if you build a franchise properly, you can sit back as an owner and allow that franchise to operate and just be there for big decisions. Like, guys, that's the ultimate. That is the ultimate in time and money. That is the ability to absolutely create a legacy business, something that not only pays you, but will pay your children and your children's children, or it will create resources, direct resources that allow you to invest into other assets and resources that will become legacy, that will be in your family forever and ever. Ever. I've already created, me personally, what's beautiful is I created specifically just one aspect of my legacy is this insanely amazing property in Alaska that I built and continue to develop. And I've put a $5 million asset that I put into a trust that will remain in my family forever, because no matter how far they go apart, they will always have the ability to come back together and remember, or have a foundation to come together and know that, hey, this is legacy stuff. Like, this was created by my father. This was created by my grandfather. This was created by my great grandfather. This was, some of you probably have that ability. I've seen like ranches and places and where third and fourth and fifth generations come back and they say, man, we have this because of what my great grandfather did. Like, you guys have the ability to create legacy like that, but it's got to start somewhere. It's got to start with you. And there's a blueprint to accomplish that. Okay. There is a blueprint. It doesn't just happen by chance. All right. Couple last points. Short-term versus long-term thinking. Okay. Listen, if you have a short-term mentality, then I would say it's even more important to you for you to really focus on yourself right now, for you to really focus inward, because listen, If you have a short-term mentality and you're trying to go out and influence other people to a long-term endeavor, you're going to be incongruent. You're going to be unauthentic. You're going to it's going to come across in your lack of confidence. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Some of you, you need to do some internal work. And it's okay. Ketones will help you do that. And you can recruit other people that need to do some internal work. But listen, don't get, my whole point of what I was talking about earlier is don't get down when you start to have conversations with people that are later people, that are people that, you know, need to see your success, need to have, because I promise you this, there's a whole bunch of people that want to join you, but listen, there's a whole bunch of other people that are going to need to do inside work too. So think about focusing on yourself. Think about what you can do. Start to create some instant, small little wins here and now that'll fuel you to making a bigger and longer term decision. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're just putting your foot in the water here just to see what happens, like ain't nothing going to happen, is my point. The best chance you have is to be honest with yourself and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give this 120 days. I'm going to give this, 6 months. If that's your mentality, then find somebody that you can model and find someone that you can just, follow the criteria of physically altering yourself with ketones or making a big shift mentally, and pursue it. Go after it. Do some inside work. Like, it's okay to just slow down to speed up. All right. If that's something that you need to do. Some of you, that's not you. You're ready to go. And that's awesome. And that's what you should do. You should go. If you're ready to go, don't wait. Go find a bunch of people that want to go with you. All right. But listen, at some point, you're going to have to make a long-term decision, is my point. If you're going to try to get a 4-year degree, if you're going to go try to get a bachelor's degree and you say, hey, I'm going to go to school for a couple months and see what works, see if I like it, see what happens. Here's my point. You're never going to get that degree. You have to pursue the 4-year degree by making a 4-year commitment. You understand? You got to make that commitment up front. Don't fool yourself. Okay? And if you need to go get some wins before that, go do it. Value and understanding your products. Like, this all goes under business owner mentality. And I'm going to end with this. So I want you to think about this. This is all part of business owner mentality. It's how you're thinking about your business, right? Like, I want you to think about this. For those of you who want to build a strong and profitable prove it business, you have to understand, like, if you go back in, you have to understand things like, hold on. Okay, I got 3 different types of products here. 3 different types of products. Do you guys know that all 3 of these products have different values to your business? Like, for instance, if you have a store that sells, I'm just looking outside of my shop, roofing, siding, and gutters. I want you to think about this. Roofing, siding, and gutters. You make a 80% margin on roofing. You make a 50% margin on siding. And you make, this is not my middle finger, I'm not flicking you off. And you make a 20% margin on gutters. Here's my question to you. What do you as a business owner want to focus more of your promotion on? What do you want to focus more of your attention to? What do you want to sell more of? Roofing, the highest margin. Absolutely, mate. Spot on. You want to focus on the highest margin. Like, my point is that you have to continually and constantly think how to operate and structure your business. So if different products are different margins, you should really focus on the products, promoting the products that are going to increase the margins and profitability of your business the most. Also, that keep things the most simple. Listen, I'm not saying this is a negative. I'm not saying this is a down thing, but when we started Prove It, or even when Nate was around, dude, was it pretty simple? Like, there was not a flavor of the month. There was not a supporting cast of products. There was no ketones in a can. There was none of those things. Like, it was really simple. The point is that number one, you need to help customers and promoters keep things simple. We want to replicate and duplicate ourselves and our simplicity as many times as we can, over and over and over and over again. You don't want a customer to get started and say, there's all this stuff. What do I buy? What do I use? Like, keep things simple, but not just keeping things simple. Think about, hey, what is my best ROI when it comes to my products? Secondly, is when it comes to the makeup of customers. Listen, if you're having and gaining other promoters, right? And other promoters are gaining other customers. I want you to think about this. So rank 6, in order to achieve rank 6, you have to have 30,000 BV. You have to have a certain amount of TV to accomplish that. We can do the math very, 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 very simply. 30,000. Check this out. How many promoters do you need right now on your team? How many promoters do you need that all have at least 12 customers ordering 1 box of ketones a month? The simple and rounded math is 30. 30. It's 30. You need 30 promoters, all with 12 customers that are all ordering a box of ketones. Roughly comes out to that 1,000 number, including yourself. Now, if you do the math, what if you help promoters have 20 customers that are all ordering 1 box a piece? Then how many does it take? Now you can reduce the number down to 20. You could reduce the number down to 15. You could also increase the number up to, hey, you could also have 300 customers all ordering 1 box. You could have, you can do the math a whole bunch of different ways, but here's my point. When is the last time you took a piece of paper and just drew out what it would take to accomplish GoPro or MVP or rank 6, and then play around with different structures to accomplish that? My point is that it doesn't take nearly as much as you think it does. You don't have to have thousands of promoters around the world to accomplish a majority of the ranks and Prove It. You just need to teach people how to structure their businesses properly, right? Teach your promoters how to invest in their own business. Like, anyways, I'm going to go over and over and over again. So I don't want to get out of hand. I got a whole bunch of notes that unfortunately I'm not able to share with you guys, but hopefully I shared something that can at least move the needle forward. That can at least put you 1 step further or in the right direction. So I'll shut up. If anybody has any questions or you want me to clarify, I know sometimes I get off track and I ramble. I'm sorry, that's just what happens. But if anyone has any questions or needs clarity on something I already covered, I'd be more than happy to spend a couple minutes doing that. So I'll turn it over to you, Nick.
I got a bit of an observation, actually. So Bryon kind of opened this thing up saying, like, find a goal, go towards the goal, share your journey. Bryon said 2 things on here, right? And well, 3 things I want to pick up on. 1, we're getting old, because you look at the old pictures of us and like we look like 30 years older, with everything that's gone on in the world and everything that we've done in business and all that stuff. But also on a personal level, right? Like, I've watched Bryon grow into a father, committed husband, father, growing in his faith, growing in his business, right? Growing in his vision. And all of those things that he said, like, oh, I'm a 40-year-old, I'm going to kick my 25-year-old's ass. Okay. That's what he said. He said, I'm creating a legacy property in Alaska for my kids, my grandkids. Well, that's not outlandish to me. And you know why it's not outlandish to me? Is because Bryon's been sharing his journey. He's been sharing his journey on his way to doing these things and achieving these things on his social media. Like, I want to let you guys in on a secret. Like, social media is like 99% bullshit, right? You got these really ridiculously good looking people, and maybe they're not good looking. Maybe it's just a filter, or, you know, these people that are posing next to Ferraris and stuff like that. Who knows how much money they actually have, right? But what draws people in is going towards something, like setting a goal and inviting people along the journey, right? And showing them like the process of it. And that'll attract other people that are going that want to go in that same direction, right? And that's what Bryon was saying. And I appreciate that, because I've watched him, and I'm like, man, I want to do that too. Like, I want to get, you know, I want to eat all that meat and you know, shoot deer and stuff like that, right? Like, we got some similar interests, right? And so we're even dressed the same, right? So you're going to attract people that are going that direction, right? And I love that and appreciate that, Bryon, for sharing that and just highlighting that again to me, because even I'm tempted, right, to be like, man, you know, like, I've been in really good shape, and I'm like, should I post a picture of myself now, because I'm not in the best shape that I've ever posted myself up, right? And it's like, and you've been on stage, it's the same kind of thing, right? It's like, you want to reach that point, but people want to come with you on the journey, right? And they want to come with you in the ups and downs. So don't think you have to arrive somewhere. That was a huge takeaway for me, and I appreciate it, Bryon. Appreciate you. Appreciate where you're at, where you're going, and where we're all going to go, I think, as a result. So yeah, that's it.
And I appreciate that, Nate. And, you know, and the other thing I tell you guys is it hasn't all been flowers and great too, because all my positive came out of negative. You know, I got married and became a committed husband after going through a divorce and not being. I, you know, raised kids off, and I had failed relationships and broken relationships and things with friends and business partners and other things that I've fought through to get to the other side. And here's the thing: all I have the ability to do, like I said, all I can control is my action and my attitude. And honestly, there were times where both of them really sucked. And I'm making new. I think another reason I couldn't sleep last night was because, hey, like, I'm like, I'm so tired of saying I'm getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready to do something. Like, my saying, just so you know, anytime I give a training to you guys, I'm gonna let you in on the biggest secret ever. It's not for you. It's actually for me. It's for the dude that I'm looking at in one of the squares here that's looking back at me, that happens to be our mouse moving the same way. Like, literally, like, I am literally giving you guys something that I made a commitment to do a week or two ago, to say, screw this. Like, I'm done. Like, I am so done making excuses for why I'm not physically better, or why I'm not, you know, pursuing this at a higher level, or why I'm not being a better influence, or because the honesty, and Nate's right. Like, you know, what's funny is the only thing I've shared on social media, after, honestly, over the last 3.5 years or so, has just been the most authentic parts of me. And it was for my family. It's just for my family. My family's broken out all over the country. And it was just so my parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins could see, and some of our best friends could, like, see our kids, you know, and see some of the things we're doing or whatever, because we're all split up. We don't get to spend a lot of time together. So my point is, I haven't even, like, you know, I haven't put my best foot forward. It was just me doing that. But here's what's so cool: I'm not going to make any apologies, because, you know, what's so awesome is I spent time with my kids that, you know, I'll never be able to redo again. You know, for the last 3 years, I've been smelling brand new baby hair from my two beautiful daughters that, you know, it's time that I'll never have it again. And I got a chance to be here and experience it, and I don't regret it a bit. But at the same time, I know I can do more. I know that I'm meant to have more of a positive impact. I know that I can be putting a better foot forward. So like I said, I'm not speaking to you as a coach or a legend or any of that bullshit. I'm just talking to you like a dude that has the same struggles, a dude that's literally afraid to post my picture, Nate, because I'm literally speaking to myself. I've been waiting to get in better shape before I get my Keto Man page going again, because I'm afraid that, you know what? It's bullshit. I have been making way too many excuses. I have been procrastinating for way too long. And I'm telling you, you're dealing with your own excuseitis. You're dealing with your own procrastination disease, and you need to get over it. You need to stop shaming and blaming and justifying anyone and everything else, and take ownership and personal responsibility and just do it. Like I said, screw it. I'm going to go find a whole bunch of new people that want to do it with me. And it's okay. They may have a perception in your head that he's a legend. Well, you know what? I need to, it was me thinking that way that allowed me to stay stagnant for that long. Sometimes we're a victim of our own success, because here's what I'm going to tell you. You're either growing or you're dying. There's no stagnant. If you're not using it, you're freaking losing it. If you're not using it, you're losing it. So you better go freaking use it. You better go use your talents. You better go use your abilities, because if you don't, you're going to lose them. And I don't want to lose them. So I am in this. I promise you, I am in this with you. And like I said, we're not just talking about Prove It. We're talking about life. If you don't exercise your faith will fall. Like it's more than just Prove It. It's more than just this business. There's bigger things in life. And I mean, the fact that Prove It has all of us together talking about inspiring each other to do something better is just really freaking cool. I mean, how often does that happen at your job? How often does that happen at your business? My guess is it probably doesn't. So there's something really positive to be said and to be had here. So just wanted to really get transparent with you on that one, and just understand that, like I said, we're all dealing with something. We need to go.
Chantal, you can go, or like that was the best part. Like that pumps me up because like we've been doing it for a long time, and I don't need motivation. I don't need inspiration. I don't need I don't know. I don't need skill. I don't need attitude stuff, but I need that energy to pulls me up, basically. And I want to get legend since day one, and then the best person to help me get there, I think it's probably you. So that's why I'm very pumped to have you on this call. And I don't think it was about the words. It was all about the transfer of energy, basically. And even if you don't understand what he said, you understand the certainty behind what he's saying, because he did it. Doesn't matter if you took time for your children, for your family. That's still a part of your legacy, and that's our parts to do our job to make our business grow. And if we got you, like, of course, it's like you can still run your Ferrari even if there's no turbo, but with a turbo, it's probably more fun. So I guess we will enjoy the ride for the next couple of weeks with the CUC that you just plan on the Sundays, and it really pumps us up. And again, we don't need that, but like it's just fucking oil on the fire, and yeah, I'm just fucking excited right now. Thank you, Bryan Jackson. I think Chantal want to ask you a question. If you, I don't know if you have time or if you don't
Yeah.
have time. Just it's all about you. We don't have planning, so
It's not really a question, but I don't know if you were speaking to yourself, but you were really speaking to mine, to myself. What I see is, well, you didn't have really the technology where it is right now. You didn't have all the flavor. You didn't have the conversation where you're at right now. And you make it there by hard work and you didn't quit. So for us, that we have all of that, you have, if you work hard and you don't quit, you get there. So I really loved it. Well, I took so many notes. The BMO, think as your business, your franchise. I really love the analogy that you made, and it really helped me to see it even more clear. It's something that I've been working for a long time. And for me, one of my takeaway was with the economy. You know, when it's high, when it's low, well, when it's high, people want to spend money, sell ketone, otherwise recruit. And lately, that was my struggle because I was unhappy at my job. I knew where I wanted to go, and I was putting the hard work constantly every day into my business and what I really love to do. And I didn't want to make the move because I was scared. I was, what about is the economy right now? Where it goes? I'm going to lose my job, my financial security to buy my house, my put food on the table. And I decided to not be scared anymore. And I really love when you said this because for me, it's like, you're damn right. If the economy is low, sell less ketones, I'm just going to recruit more promoters. And it's always go back, you know? So after that, when I'm going to have all those promoters, poof, the business is going to explode. I may explode before, but I think this was really one of my big takeaway. And sometime in life, you need to listen for a few people, the same message. That's why the commercial, they're there all the time to try to send you a message. And I heard it about a year ago when we were in Mexico with Mick, and somebody told me that, hey, why are you waiting to recruit promoters? I said, well, I'm not there yet. How can people want to follow me if my business is not there? He said, well, when you're talking is because you're putting out there in the world that you want to be there or this is where you're going to go. And that was my other takeaway for not waiting. And lately, I have a conversation with other people in here, and we talk about it like, hey, just let go out there and talk about what we do as a business and bring more people with us. And it's true, people will not connect with me if I'm already there. It seems too high. The step is too big. So just to break it down, say, hey, this is where I'm at, but this is where I want to go. Or you want to come with me? Let's do this together. That was my two biggest takeaway that I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
And I want to add something before you talk. Like, she's not just talking, man. This is her first day as a full-time prover. So she did all the moves. That now that's fucking real. That was just like the thing
That's
that I wanted
amazing.
before
And
you're
that
done.
takes faith. You gotta always remember, fear and faith can't live in the same body. One is always taking control. So if you feel fear, you need to exercise more faith. And you're right. It's old school. I mean, anyone watch the new Top Gun movie? Anyone watch Top Gun Maverick? See, Nate and I were in the old F-14s, the old F-14 Tomcats. You guys had the 5th generation fighters. You got the absolute superior weapon. So remember that. Like, you got the best of the freaking best. Now go do something with it.
So we're talking about, like, this is pretty badass. Seriously badass. So I have a question. Why I'm not legend yet? That's good, right? That's good.
That's a question.
Oh yeah. And don't be gentle with me. Like, just I don't know. For me, it was I want to formulate the question, like, how can I get to legend? And then I realized, like, okay, now I will get to legend, but why I'm not legend yet? I think it's more powerful and it's more like extreme ownership and it's more your style then. Like, why am I a legend? How can you get to legend? It's just a fun question.
Well, honestly, it's like broke. Like when people say they're broke. Like, your bank account doesn't determine whether you're broke or not. It's your mentality that determines whether you're broke or not. It has nothing to do with the physical in which you think it is. So, you know, you're associating the physical thing of being a legend. It's not like it is 100% a mindset. Now, when you develop the mindset, it's something that you walk into. It's something that you create. Now, as we've talked about in the past, you and I, there is a structure and strategy to accomplish it. There's a very specific structure and strategy to accomplish it, but that all has to lead with your mindset. So, like I said, when people say you're a freaking legend, like you're a legend because of your mindset. It's just a matter. And here's the thing, like, dude, if you're like a legend is somebody that makes a big impact. A legend is somebody that positively influences other people. A legend is somebody that makes a better world for everybody else. A legend is somebody that takes care of their family. A legend is somebody that steps into their man or womanhood and inspires other people to do the same. A legend is like, to me, a legend is not a rank. Like you already, many of you, until you just have to own it. Like you are freaking legends. Like you're absolute legends. I could care less about the rank. And to be honest with you, all it is a rank. And to be really transparent with you, to be super, super honest with you, all it is actually a title. Because there is actually zero, let me repeat this, there is zero financial upside to being a legend. You know that? Do you know that legend pays you the exact same as rank 10? It's identical. There's no bonus. There's no nothing. So my point is this, and I'm not saying that, Mick, to demotivate you. I'm saying that to tell you that, dude, you're already a legend. Like you just need to continue to embrace that mindset, and you need to truly master how to build this business. And you need to continue to get coaching on, hey, how do you do this? Because all I did to go legend is super simple, is I drove a tap route. And at the time I didn't know what the tap, and when I say tap route, that means it's a promoter, and more specifically, not just a promoter backed up by a promoter, backed up by a promoter, backed up by a promoter, backed up by a promoter. It's a leader backed up by a leader, 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 backed up by a leader. It's Sylvia Athy to Christina Figueroa to Katie Rollins, to Kendra McMurphy, to Jennifer Jaymes, to Alexis Brady, to Kelsey Gigi, to like, the point is that I specifically chased and specifically took my energy and effort. This is leadership stuff. This is something we're going to talk about, Mick, on Sunday nights, and how you properly build and structure your business. Because technically all I had to do was build a tap route in somebody's business, which I didn't know whose business it was going to be, Abigail's or Sylvia's at the time. And I just continued to drive tap routes down in both, to work their businesses down in depth over and over again to see who was going to stick until somebody hit that rank 10 at enough structure and volume to hit rank 10. And then all I had to do was have enough volume outside of that to qualify for legend. From a technical stand. There's your tech. There's the technical reason you're not a legend, Mick, is because you don't have a rank 10 with legend with enough volume outside to accomplish that rank. That's the technical answer.
I love it. I love it. So it's time versus technical like stuff.
But someone check this out. Anyone that pursues the technique without having the mindset is effed. Meaning it ain't gonna happen. You're fudged.
Yeah. Oh, you can say fuck here.
You can technique all day, because it doesn't matter. It is absolutely the mindset. And the thing is that your mindset is going to be contagious among those people that you're building the business with. And that is how you can become an owner of your business. And at some point, as you guys mature through this Rhino running conversation, I have no problem coming back and I'll even break out the whiteboard. We'll do a training based on how to properly understand and structure your business to achieve the ranks and the income that you want to create.
Yeah, and we will probably have to go in Alaska in the room somewhere and learn that all together. And I think I
I
think it's
just
easier.
built the guest suite. It's just been finished. I'll give you a tour. I'll give you all a social media tour in the next day or two.
Perfect, perfect. I can wait. So thank you. Now it doesn't unmotivate me that you said that Legends just a rank, and I know all that stuff, and I seriously I don't think I can't be unmotivated. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Was a pretty cool answer. Stop it, stop it. But I don't know if you have time, if anybody have another question. I give a kilo up for the next person who ask a question. See, that's how you build a business with Keto Up, backed by Keto Up, by Keto Up, especially in Canada. They're scared.
Okay, so can I have the
Oh, yeah.
keto up, please?
That's not a good question. Okay, no Keto Up. Okay, let's go. That's cool. I got it. So, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Bryon. Like, you pumped me up. So now I have my whiteboard outside, and I think what will follow is exactly what they need to hear after you talk. Some of them like don't speak or understand perfectly the English, so I will do something that you teach me a long time ago. It's basically called a Hue build that I will do it after for the people that are here. So thank you for that. I hope we will see each other like in real pretty soon, and yeah, I hope
Just
we will be able
I'll
to get
leave
you
you
back.
guys. I'll leave you guys with this as you're getting ready to hang up. Remember this: you're gonna hang this Zoom up, and you're either gonna go back to the life that you were living before this, or you're gonna go forward. You're gonna make a change. So remember this: when you turn this Zoom off, when you click the end button, you only have two things that you can do that you have control of: your action and your attitude. So I would highly suggest that you do something that feeds your attitude in a positive way, or you go act. What's the best thing you do? Listen, we talk about training. You don't need to be trained anymore. You have the solution. Go act on getting a bunch of people to join you in whatever direction you're going to go. I'm not going to get technical with you, but remember, when you end this up, you can go back to just nothing. That you could just go back to the way you were. You can go do something. You have to gain momentum. You have to act. So all I would encourage you to do is when you get off of here, read a book for 10 minutes, or go reach out to somebody and say, hey man, I want to do this, do it with me. Or, hey, what do you know about ketones and ketosis? It doesn't matter, but act, do something that is going to feed your action or your attitude in a positive, forward moving direction. So that's all I want to tell you. That's the last thing I'm going to tell you, because I said it before, but right now I'm trying to say it within 30 seconds of you clicking the end button. So you guys are awesome. We'll see you guys later, and look forward to when I get to spend some time with you again. So Mick, we'll figure that out. See you guys.
Oh yeah.
Good seeing you.
Right. Thank you, everybody.